and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna make a delicious butternut squash soup, and we can jump right in. First thing we're gonna do is prep all of our ingredients. Of course, with a butternut squash soup, our main ingredient is the butternut squash. We're gonna prep the squash by cutting it in half first. Taking a spoon, I'm gonna scoop out the insides, and you can save the seeds if you want. You could, toast them and take the seeds out, but I'm just gonna toss these. I'm not gonna eat them. Now that I've scooped out the insides, I'm just gonna cut off the top and the bottom of the squash. Now, you can roast the squash as is, and you can just place it down with all the seasonings that I'll show you later on in the video, or you can cut out the actual flesh of the squash and cut it into cubes. That's what I'm gonna do, just so it's much easier once it's done baking. Carefully take a knife, and you're just going to take the outer layer off of the squash. If you also don't want to mess with cutting the squash, you can buy it pre-cut. They have it at like Whole Foods or honestly any grocery store. You can buy it pre-cut, and that just makes it a lot easier for prep time. Once you've peeled off the outer layer, you're gonna cut it into about 1-inch cubes. Take your cubes and set them aside in a bowl, and you're gonna do this for the remainder of the squash. Next, I'm gonna cut my onion. I'm just going to cut off the top and the bottom. Cut it again into quarters, and then we're just going to peel these layers off and into the same bowl with the butternut squash. I'm also gonna throw in some cloves of garlic that I've already peeled. And lastly, we're gonna prepare our sweet potato. I'm gonna cut off the top and the bottom of the sweet potato, and we're going to peel it. If you wanna make this lower carb, you can avoid adding the sweet potato. So I would say this is a moderate carb recipe, but sweet potato adds really nice flavor to the soup. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. We're gonna cut the sweet potato now into cubes, just like we did with the squash. Before we throw these vegetables onto a sheet pan, I'm gonna season them. I'm gonna take some olive oil and drizzle all over our vegetables. I'm gonna add some cumin, Italian seasoning, cinnamon, smoked paprika, a little bit of cayenne, and salt and black pepper. And mix these all together. You of course don't have to do this in a bowl. You could just do this straight on the sheet pan, but I like to make sure that all the vegetables are coated in my seasoning, which is why I do it in a bowl first. Onto a sheet pan, I'm gonna throw these vegetables, and we're just gonna evenly spread it out on the pan. I'm gonna do an extra drizzle of olive oil on top. And our vegetables are now ready to go into the oven. I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna bake this for 30 minutes. While our vegetables are in the oven, I'm gonna show you how to make a delicious topping to the soup, which is fried shallots. I have a shallot, and I am just going to slice it really thin. We're gonna make these shallots really crisp, and it's just such a delicious, sweet, crispy topping to this soup. I have a nonstick pan that I'm heating on medium-low heat, and I'm gonna add some lard. Now, you can use whatever kind of oil you want. You could use avocado oil, but I really like the flavor that the lard gives to the fried shallots. It's also great for cooking at a high heat point. I'm not sponsored by South Chicago Packing, but they're a really good brand if you're looking for a really high quality lard. The pan is now nice and hot and the lard has melted down. I'm gonna take the shallots and throw them into the pan. We're just gonna let these cook until they get nice and crispy. Gonna add a little bit of salt. And a bit of black pepper. My vegetables are finished baking, so I've transferred them into this pot that is heating on medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add some Kettle and Fire chicken broth. I'm not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for a really clean broth, this is my favorite brand. I added about 1.5 to 2 cups, and we're just gonna combine all of these vegetables with the chicken broth. You wanna bring this up to a simmer. If you want your soup to be on the thicker side, then I would stick to about 1.5 cups of chicken broth for 1 butternut squash. But if you want it a little bit more liquidy, then add the full 2 cups. Now that my soup is at a simmer, I'm gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna take our pot off of the stove. You wanna now take an immersion blender, or you can put this into a standing blender and turn it on. I'm now gonna add about 1/4 cup of heavy cream. You can also use coconut cream if you prefer. And turn on the blender again. Here is our delicious butternut squash soup. I've topped it with the crispy shallots that I made and also some toasted pumpkin seeds. I cannot wait to dig into this. It's a nice chilly day here, perfect for a butternut squash soup, and this is perfect for the upcoming holiday season. Let's get a nice bite right here. Cheers. That is excellent. Nice and creamy, super delicious and flavorful. I can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit that notification bell to never miss a tasty upload. Till next time.